We should add 2-3 stars, right? 2-3 stars.
Special attendance
In
of
your
mark.
certificate.
Yes.
5-star certificate
Yes.
to Lopa ma'am.
Yes, एकदम. That ad we have ना, that Dettol ad जो like for like Dettol जो
100%.
use करते हैं, कम बीमार पड़ते हैं.
अगर वो 100% अटेंडेंस पे जाओ तो भाई मेरे पास तो 2-star certificate आएगा, I believe. Because I
Okay,
miss most
Ishita,
of the
done
shit.
deal. Okay, Ishita, 5
Actually,
marks
I missed
extra
the
to
class not because of this. I
I'll
had a
give you a task, all of you. I'll give you a task, okay? Why don't all of you only give me the certificate template? I'll just sign and give it back to you. You can write it. Okay.
That would be great.
100% dependent.
That's actually good, huh?
Thing, talent goes to Pramesh then. And Shahzadi, we can come up for something for you also.
The customized certificate. That's
Okay.
good, that's good.
All right, so let's begin now. Okay. And now today's topic, as I was saying, is different from what we have been doing until now. Until now, we were talking about how do you, like ensure that
Your screen sharing is paused.
please
Your
ignore
screen
this.
share is
I'm not
loading.
able to see, understand why this is happening. I mean, some setting, Zoom has done something in the setting. So anyways, let's ignore that. So yes, so we've been focusing about, okay, how do we teach English? How do we help students to become better readers, critical thinkers in terms of reading? How do they comprehend what they are reading? How do they write better? How do they ideate? How do they listen and comprehend meaning? How do they speak better and so on, right? But what we will be talking about today is how do we actually invest our students in doing all of that? Right? That's the biggest, you can say, the question that is still lying unanswered, and that's what we are here for. So yes, the session title you can say is classroom management, but overall it's about investing our students into this culture of learning. You all want your students to be better English communicators, but are they also invested in the same vision or not? Right? That's what today we have. So before we begin, I have a question for all of you. And
Ruth
maybe
John
we
has
can
joined the meeting.
very quickly we can share it in a round by taking turns. So here I'm asking you, what kind of challenges do you face in your class? And again, not in terms of that your students are not able to understand reading, but like in general, culture wise, what kind of challenges do you face? Do you face certain instances where they do not want to actually do certain tasks, where they are not invested in learning what they need to learn? Say it could be grammar, it could be writing, or anything else. So what kind of challenges do you face in your classroom? Yes, Pramesh, go on.
Yeah, it is I think it is regarding main thing is how to get the student engaged the class. That is the thing, how we can get the student actively engaged in the class. And of course, to and one more thing is how to let them how they can actually their actual behavior also in the class, of course, in terms of their focus, and we can identify whether they are focusing properly or not. So all these things we have to miss. I actually keep note of that, and if I think for any reason they are not very attentive, then I can use my own ways to make them little more attentive.
Yeah.
I have like got a variety of students. Okay, small, like my youngest is 4 years old. Okay. And my eldest student is about 15 or 16. Okay. So I like there are some students who are very like, what are we going to do today? They are glued, like very obedient children. And but the younger group, for example, yesterday I was taking, he's just in class KG. So ma'am, I was teaching him poems, right? How to create his first poem. So his name, okay, we made an acrostic poem with his name, with his father's name, with his mother's name. He said, ma'am, I'm tired of it. I want to draw. Okay. So I said, okay, you draw. Okay, so he drew a flower, a sun. I said, okay, now let's create a poem on that, right? So he was interested. What you draw? And like that, there are some students like, ma'am, I want to see a story today. I want to watch a video. I will not study. So that time I don't push it along. I do conversation skills. Always 15 or 20 minutes of my class, I do conversation. Where they talk freely, and the conversation happens. So I judge them, after they have done. So I tell them this was sentence. So this is what I do. And sometimes, when the child is very young, I show them a video, a story. This is how, because variety of students, like every time 1 hour, it's not possible for every student to concentrate. So I divide my class accordingly so that there is some fruitful minutes and there are some minutes which are not wasted, but they are learning something.
Right.
So I play games, word games. I give them fill-ups. I give them hints. They identify the words. And, the vocabulary building is also happening. They write it down in the copy. That's a new word they have learned. So I play a word game with all my students, depending on the classes.
Got
5
it.
new words I teach them every day.
Okay, okay. Shehzadi Ruth, challenges that you face. Thank you, Lopa. Thanks, Pramesh.
Yeah, good morning and my apologies. I was delayed. We never had electricity for a long time from morning, so it was very hectic in this heat. Anyway, yeah, about the issues that we face is varied because I also have little ones and they're just like 17 years. And the 17 years group, one girl, two of them, they are, very distracted because they have a lot of issues themselves. So when I'm teaching here the lesson, and one of them is like they are over smart, they're very smart. The syllabus is really not matching to their IQ. So whatever is there, it's known. So from there, I try to customize to whatever they need. And the parent-teacher meeting, the parent always complain about children stuck to the phones and not being disciplined and this and that. So I gave my example of my own children, like this generation is like that. So we have to slowly, kind of in a nice way, you have to pull them into this. Because this girl has a lot of issues, like, girls, like young, not only girls, like boyfriend, this, that, and problem with the parents and all those. So, those kind of things, they're not able to concentrate. That's number one. And the little ones, two or three of them, the new enrollments, parents are not there. The
Okay.
mates are there. And they
Hmm.
don't know the technical part. I want them to share the screen. I want to teach them the performance class. So that was a real difficult thing. But I know very soon they will get accustomed to it. And the new feature that we had, they were not initially they were not able to share the screen. I think now it has been rectified.
So
They're
you
able to
talked
share the
about
screen.
like technological challenges that they face, right? That you face while
And
conducting the classes because they are not aware. But other than that, do you think like in terms of learning, any challenge that you face, like how Pramesh shared his own? So if you can share something around.
actually, nothing like that. I don't face, my students are able to,
Actually, the problem
I
is
don't face
general.
that kind of a challenge.
Students sometimes don't want to study, Shita. They're
Hmm.
kids, right?
Moody.
Sometimes
They
they
are
want
little
to,
moody
yeah,
type.
It's
Yeah.
they
And
just want
according
to
to the moods, we just, as you said, we just try to teach them from what they want, even if it's not in my syllabus. As you
exactly.
said, I do that.
Got it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's mutual. It's the same for me. The distraction. They are distracted. For young ones also and the adults also. Always like distracted. See, I mean, I have kids like seventh, eighth grade, and ninth grade. Most of them, they worry about their homeworks. And the young ones, like first grade and second grade, they come back from their schools. They are very tired. They are not in that mood. Right, so we need to spend 15 to 20 minutes. Kya hua? Aaj? Why was it happy day? How it a sad day, right? So we need to engage them, and then slowly we need to take a lead to the topic that we need to discuss. So that distraction, I believe, कई बार they are tired, है ना? तो कई बार some parents are around, they don't feel like to share openly, right? So I mean, these things challenges vary every day, I believe. So every day it's a new challenge. I mean, as we have the variety of children, so challenges also vary.
Of course, yeah.
There's one more
Hmm.
challenge I want to talk about, Ishita. There are many students who don't want to do the practice classes. They don't want to do the practice
I have
classes.
challenge for
They don't
performance
want to
class.
do the
They don't want to
performance
go for the
classes.
performance class.
Okay, I think I'm gonna pause here. I think we are talking a lot in terms of Planet Spark context, right? Like my question was a little broader. Please don't go into nitty-gritties that yes, they don't want to do practice class, performance class, Zoom problem and all, right? That these are all solvable challenges and different kind, like only specific to Planet Spark. But you are here learning about creating engagement and investing your students in general. It could be any other platform, it could be your individual tuitions or anything, your own children, right? So
The
that's
same
where
everywhere.
Actually,
Ishita,
to
it's the
make
same.
make them express, the students actually to make them express themselves in the class for any reason, because they may be having their thoughts in their minds, but for some reason they are
But they
very
don't speak.
reluctant
Yes.
to express. That is the main challenge many a times.
good.
Hmm.
So this
Hmm.
kind of challenges we would
See,
like
for overseas kids, I face the language challenge the most, right? Sometimes they don't understand the proper English. I mean, I am teaching, of course, they are Indians only, but I'm teaching like but they know Spanish well, but they know German well, right? So the language is also one of my challenge that I have to overcome every day because उनको समझ में आना चाहिए. This is the main part. And moreover, I'm teaching subjects, right? I'm a like kind of personal tutors to them. I'm teaching subjects, so that is a challenge for me कि उनको वो चीज समझ में कैसे आए. I have to find out different ways to cater them basically. कि उनको like समझाना is actually a task every day. So this is another challenge.
got it.
The language, I believe.
Okay, cool. So today, what we will be focusing on is mainly about students not wanting to learn, or like maybe you are doing certain things, but yes, they would be sometimes interested, sometimes not interested. That's the context we will be picking up today. Yeah, so we may not come or address all of your challenges just laying out there itself. So today's focus is about how do we manage our classrooms, and when there's management, any initial thing that needs to be there is investment, right? So you can take as today's focus of the class session to be as building investment in our students, right, towards learning, towards the same outcomes that you want to see. So let's continue from there now. Thank you for
Your
sharing
screen
your
sharing is
challenges.
paused. You are
So
screen sharing.
let's first
You have
talk
started
about,
screen share.
investing students. Yeah, so there are majorly three broad steps that we can do. We can work towards investing students, and your foundation on which everything lies is actually, wait, I won't tell what it is. Tell me, what do you how do you build your lesson plan? What is that one thing that you always stick to while creating any part of the lesson plan? What's the start?
Objectives.
Very good. Yes, objective,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And your objective is basically what do you want your students to achieve? Similarly, while investing also, if we need to create an investment plan, we need to be sure of, okay, what exactly is my class vision and goals? Don't worry, we will discuss these things in detail. Okay. So what exactly is the class vision and class goals, right? So how do I envision my students to be? Where do I want to see them, right? Like what is the goal that I want to achieve? Next comes, okay, so if this is the vision, then what are the values I would want them to operate with? Yeah, so certain values that I would want them to have, maybe certain norms that I want them to share or and again operate with that will help them achieve that particular vision and goal. And lastly, then I would think about, okay, I know the vision, I know the classroom values, norms. Now, what kind of techniques or strategies can I use in my class so that my students are on the track? They are on the track towards achieving that particular vision or goal. So here, how in a lesson plan, your starting point would be your objective. Similarly, for investing students, your vision needs to be your starting point. Always, right? Even when we are thinking about values, norms, management techniques, Vision is the first thing to always focus on. Yeah, so these are the three big things we will be talking about today with examples. And today's assignment for all of you is going to be about creating a investment plan for your own classrooms, right? And as many classrooms you have, your investment plan could look differently for different students, right? It doesn't have to be same because you would have different vision for different students. It would be more age appropriate. It would be based on the need that they have and so on. Now, please note today, whatever I'm going to discuss here, I'm going to discuss it like with a viewpoint of English class, right? So I'm not talking about a general class where all the subjects you are teaching, but mainly I'm focusing on English as a medium while while building an investment plan. Okay. So let's continue. So first part of investing students is made up of the first two steps, foundational steps. Can someone quickly tell me what were the first two steps we just saw? First step.
Envision.
Vision and the class value.
Very good. Yes. Vision, goals, and class values and norms, right? And when we combine these two together, we get class culture. Okay. What does culture mean to you? When you hear the word culture, what comes to your mind?
The ways or the traditions.
The ways, the traditions. Yes, very good, Ruth. What else? There's a family culture. There's like, culture at office. Lupa, can't
Work
hear.
culture, yeah.
Lupa, you're on.
Sorry, work culture,
Yeah. So what comes under that?
your work ethics, your the discipline you
Discipline and
maintain,
yeah.
your your work life, and how your teamwork with your colleagues.
Mhm.
The culture is something which we do
Right.
in certain situations, right? The things,
The
the habits,
practices, like
Yes,
the habits we display
Yes,
in
absolutely.
different situations.
Correct. Yeah. Great, right? So
like
that's
SOP kind of thing, right?
an SOP
The
kind.
standard operation procedures kind of.
Yeah. Sort of that, of course. But even one step before that, like what guides your procedure, right? If you're operating with a value, then only there would be a certain procedure, right? And your procedure would look different based on different values. So definitely that, but a step before that. So that's what even a classroom culture is. How do you want your students to be? What kind of values do we want them to operate with? What is the vision they are working towards? And when I say they, you and students together. And what is the goal that you have in their mind, right? A very clear, specific goal. And lastly, what are the class norms or class rules? Class norms can also be set class rules based on the age appropriateness. For younger students, we can call it a rule, but for older students, I can't put it as a rule, right? Like even as adults, I do have some norms that we used to go back to, if you all remember, but that was not a rule, right? So that's the difference between norms and rules. So yes, let's start now building one culture plan for a classroom. So I'm going to take an example. We will co-create it. My example is already ready, but just in the process of learning, we are going to build it together. Okay. But the first thing that I will give you is class vision so that you know how to think about a class vision. Yeah. And then we'll move to the second part of investment plan, which is classroom management techniques. Okay. So let's go ahead. Shehzadi, could you read out the classroom vision, please?
Sure. Our classroom is a place where we nurture deep thinking and independent reading skills, encouraging each student to explore and expand their imagination. Quarter
Yeah.
goal. Should I read this also?
No, this is fine. Thank you. Yes. So thank you, Shehzadi. So our classroom is a place where we nurture deep thinking and independent reading skills, encouraging each student to explore and expand their imagination. what are certain keywords that are coming here?
Reading, thinking,
Reading, thinking, explore,
imagination.
Creative thinking.
finding.
Creative thinking, yeah. And with reading, what is one word written alongside it?
Independent reading. Independent reading.
Independent reading, right? Like they
Independently, they have to read.
Explore
on
and
their,
expand also.
Ex-
yeah.
Expand and explore.
Mhm.
So if someone has to tell me three main terms I'm saying, only three. What would those three terms be?
Uh, Deep thinking,
Okay.
independent reading, and explore and expand their imagination.
Yeah. So imagination overall, yes.
Reading, thinking, and imagination.
Correct,
And
right? But reading,
imagination.
independent reading.
Independent reading, yeah.
Teacher-guided reading also, yes. Now, this is how I came up with the vision for this imaginary class, right? So there is a say group of students that I'm teaching, and they're not so keen on reading. And I want to build reading as a habit. I want them to become independent readers. So, they go and they pick up their books, they read at night, maybe while sleeping. They cultivate that habit of reading mainly. That's what I want my students to have, because I do see that there is gap in their comprehension, and reading is one way that I believe they will be able to fill that gap, right? So I'm just sharing my thought process with you all. Second, I want them to question things around them. So they should not just accept what they are reading, right? They should
Reasoning,
also
power of reasoning.
yeah, they need to reason it. Like, okay, whether this is
That also.
right or wrong, right? Like, maybe tomorrow they are reading some political agenda or some debate. Would they be able to reason it out? That, okay, do I agree? Do I not agree? Critique it out, right? That's what I want to build. And hence, I thought of deep thinking. Next, I thought of, okay, with that, I also want them to be bold, right? Like they should be able to think also creatively, think beyond boundaries. And with that, I thought of explore and expanding their imagination. So this was how I was able to come up with this vision statement, right? First, I thought about, okay, what do my students already have? So they do not have a reading habit. They don't think much. Whatever is given to them, they will accept it. And their world is limited. So they are not able to think beyond walls. If they know that, okay, a route to go from A to B is a train, then they're not able to think that, okay, maybe they can also fly there. Maybe they can take a bus. Maybe they can take a car. I know very random example, but just sharing that they are not able to think more. So they are not able to imagine different scenarios. So maybe this was the current reality and which I want to shift. And from there, hence, I created the vision for my class. Yeah. Now, next step that comes is from the vision is creating very specific goals. So now let's read the goals, and these are the quarter goals. That means I want my students to be able to achieve these goals over 3 months of time, over a period of 3 months, right? So I came up with 3 goal statements. Now let's have a look at these. Pramesh, can you read all the 3 one by one? Take pause after reading one statement.
Yeah. Read 2 books independently.
Okay.
Complete writing analysis on 1 book and presenting their critic. Rewrite any one story by creating alternative ending.
Yes, thank you so much, Ramesh. Okay, now again, let's pause for a second. And I want you to think how each goal is helping us know whether vision will be achieved or not.
Which vision is achieved. Reading, thinking,
Yeah.
critically thinking, and third is imagining an alternative.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
why
it's
can't I write the goal separately? Only the vision statement was also talking about the same thing, right? So why do we need separate goals for it?
too particular, right? To make specific, right? First, achieve this goal. So we are segregating the goals. The vision is an amalgamated thought, right? It's a total thing. This is what I want to do. The stepwise. First this, then this, then this. I am just segregating into steps, my goals, so that I can, it'll be easier for my class. I know, okay, goal 1 is achieved, goal 2 is achieved, goal 3 is achieved. So that way, my entire vision is achieved.
We are actually thinking about how to achieve the goals, the steps for achieving the goals.
Yeah, the
So we
children
have
need
the vision.
to
Yeah,
break
so
it
we are
down.
actually breaking it down to independent. So individually, how we can achieve certain visionary, whatever vision we have about reading skills, and of course thinking and critical thinking. All these, how we can actually achieve the goals,
Right.
achieve the vision
Yeah,
by
it is.
going through separate activities.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like implementing it. We have it, but it has to be implemented.
Implementing,
Got it. Okay. So,
I believe that it's a gradual process, like gradually, like slowly and steadily.
is that how
Right?
goals and vision are different? That's what you're saying?
Yes, Ushita, can you come again? Your voice is echoing.
Okay. Is it better now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was just asking, Shehzadi mentioned that it's a gradual process. What do you mean is the gradual process, Shehzadi? Goals are the
Like
gradual.
we are giving a proper time to process things within the children.
Okay, sure.
Right? I mean, we are giving them time. Like, I mean, reading, independent reading. I mean, it's something else. Reading itself, for example, like so we are using this habit like of reading, then independent reading, right? Nurturing that deep thinking and later on writing and
Mm-hmm.
rewrite their own thing, right? But the things start, it's a process again. So we are actually indulging these things gradually into them. Goal 1, we are giving a proper time of like 3 months, right?
Got
So
it.
within 3 months, we have given them a time, and we have to be that okay, children are working. So goal 1 achieved, then move to the goal 2, then move to the goal 3.
Got it. Got it. I think so. I'm going to just hold on to what you said towards the last, right? So that you know that, okay, students have achieved the vision. That's what goals do. As Lopa also mentioned, they are specific. What you mentioned, Ramesh, they are segregated, right? And third, they are measurable, right? How would we know? How can I prove it to others that, okay, hey, in 3 months' time, my students have become independent readers? Only when I'll have a proof point that, okay, they were able to read 2 books independently. It doesn't matter which books they are. Here, my focus is to improve their reading skills and, ensure that they've developed that reading habit on their own. So they are able to read books. Maybe these are picture books. So it would all be age appropriate, of course, but they are able to read 2 books independently, right? So I made it measurable, I made it specific, and I also said that, okay, by when will they be achieving it? So I made it timely also.
Time bound. Yeah.
Time bound, correct. Yeah. So
Time
that's
bound,
why
measurable.
we need goals separately. So that goals are basically, they will help you know whether at the end of a certain time period your vision has been achieved or not, right? So that's something to know. Second, about, I hope you were, yes, you saw that these were segregated. I hope you're able to see how different parts of vision are able to come alive in the goal, right? So reading independently, completing writing analysis on a book and presenting their critique. Which part of the vision do you think this is addressing?
Thinking,
Thinking, right? Critical thinking, because they have to present.
critical thinking.
Maybe they're reading, let's say, again, Cinderella, and maybe, all those conversations that we had in the last few classes, that how it was completely, not relevant to today's world. Women are doing so much more, and the story is still written like the classic. It's a classic, but yet taking us many years backward, right? So maybe presenting that critique. So they have to think on their own. And lastly, what is the last one? Denote which part of the vision is it addressing?
Expanding the imagination.
Imagination.
Thinking
Right?
beyond.
Exactly, because they need to rewrite the ending. the alternative ending, right? The lessons that you had also worked on. And there they will need to use their imagination. So this is how we can define our vision, and from our vision, our goals. Okay. Shall I move forward? Is this part clear?
Yes. Yes.
All right. And now, next question. So everything has to be aligned. Now, and you all know about alignment, right? We have discussed in assessment, lesson methods everywhere. So now the next question that follows, so if we go back, we have discussed our classroom vision and goals. Now, the next part is class values. To be able to achieve this vision, to be able to operate, to achieve this vision, what are certain values we will need them to operate with? So can I have certain ideas? It's okay, take a minute, think about it, and give me a why. Don't just give a value name. Okay, what are values? Values can be problem solving. So I always, think about solving problems. I do not sit with problems. It could be respect. It could be creativity. It could be many more. So I'm not giving a lot of ideas because then I'll just give answers. So you need to think about what are maybe 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 values that you would want students to operate with so that they can achieve this vision. Let's take few minutes and think. You can use chat box to quickly, write down your thoughts so that you have it in one place.
There were some network disruptions. Can you repeat the question?
We're answering this question, Shehzadi. What values would you want your students to operate with and why? So I'm keeping the vision in front of you. Think about if your students want to achieve this vision, what are certain values they need to be operating with.
Ruth John to everyone. Integrity, determination and discipline.
Oh, what is this new thing?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think that our system has
Setting is
Can you also write down why, Ruth?
yeah, because see, if we are going to have reading as independent, the learner has to be truthful in goal oriented and do it, like,
Okay.
disciplined there. And only when I be truthful to myself, to the goals that I have set, I'll have to do it. Like I have to set a timetable and I have to follow that in a very disciplined way. So I achieve my goal there.
So you would want them to have these 3 values, or are you
Yeah.
saying one bucket?
There are more, but the main thing is being truthful to yourself when I set a goal that I will do it. Determination. In a disciplined way, I do that. And there are so many others
It
too.
seems like a one bucket though. They don't. Do you think
Pardon?
do you think all these 3 needs to come, or they are just one bucket? That's my question.
Yeah, I think it's all together.
Yeah, it's one
Yeah.
bucket.
It's a kind of similar.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we have lots more.
So maybe you can think of more, Ruth. Lopa has written
Okay.
critical reasoning. I think again one bucket, Lopa. And please write down why.
Values.
So you're thinking about very specific skills, Lopa, time management, prediction.
that get aligned to my vision.
But are these values? What is your value, for example, your family value, if I have to ask you?
Okay, values.
Yes, I'm not
Okay.
asking what is the rule that they're following.
Like
That could be a rule.
Principle, like
Yes,
for me,
principles. Their principles.
principle. Punctuality, will that be?
So integrity is
management.
a principle, for example, right? They can show integrity in any situation, every situation. It's a principle, it's a value, what Ruth has mentioned. Right?
Yeah, where respect for the other learner.
Okay.
Determination.
The main has
Determination.
also written down values: responsibility, respect, empathy. Okay. Shehzadi has written critical thinkings, all right, and discipline. Okay. I want to see very good mapping of why this value and how will it help to achieve the vision. That I'm not able to see here.
Yeah, give us some clues because we are somewhere there, but we are not.
I'm going to give you one value. I won't be sharing my slide because all the values are written without animation. So I'm going to share one value, okay? And one,
Can it be perseverance?
So is love for reading a value, Nichita? Developing this love for reading, right? Knowledge. Like this is also a value which we get from a family, like getting knowledge.
the value in general. But I do not know love for reading. How, like, can we, love for learning might be a better way of.
Love for learning.
Adaptability, like acceptance of diversity.
Yes, that's a value, yes. So it's a mindset. Think of mindsets
Yeah.
that want students to approach things.
Yeah,
Because this is something we are doing.
determination.
Yes.
We are not
So
in the
can I give one example
and
of
acceptance.
reasoning? And then all of
Yeah.
you will take. So today's class is going to be about co-creation, right? I have the plan ready. You are also going to build. So, and then we'll discuss, okay? So don't worry about time. I'll give you more time. But let me share my example, one only. So for example, one of the value that I wrote is curiosity. Okay. And for me, that would, so first I will define the value because curiosity may have different definitions for everyone, right? Just focus and listen once and then we can discuss more. So for me, curiosity is generating love for learning by asking questions. Remember my vision? I wanted to nurture deep thinking. And for me, I feel like deep thinking will happen only when they start questioning things around that, okay, why is this? Why are there, say, 7 days in a week? Right? Why February has less number of days? Just asking these, I'm giving again very basic examples, but maybe thinking about, okay, why did, Cinderella's mom did that, or why did Cinderella choose to be a servant? Why could she not fight for it? What was she lacking? What would improve her situation, right? So I want to nurture that deep thinking, and for that I believe they need to start with the one simple step, which is asking questions about things happening around them. And when will someone ask question? Only when they want to know, when they want to learn how does these things work.
Not only, sorry to interrupt, not only when they want to know, the person has to be fearless because many times children are thinking like they think that, okay, whatever the teacher's saying, I have to just listen. So we have to make the child aware that you have the right to open and speak and, feel confident. First of all, I should instill this value.
Pause, Ruth. And that's your definition. See how our definition became so different. Right? For you, curiosity is that, but what for me, what you're saying is courage. It's not curiosity, which is fine, right? But that, thank you for actually interrupting me and sharing that because that's an example of why we need to define our values. Because for me, curiosity could be something else. For you, curiosity could be something else. For Lopa, it could be something. For Pramesh, it could be something. For Shehzadi, it could be something. So we need to define what does that value stand for me and give a reasoning.
Yeah,
right?
like self-worth. Self-worth.
You'll get time. You'll get time. Wait. So because I don't want you to just give value names, do critical thinking yourself. Give me three things basically, right? So first of all, I'll just go back to my example and complete it, right? So curiosity, asking questions, so generate love for learning and to question things around them. So basically deep thinking, that's what I'm aiming for. And yes, so yeah, that's my why, and that's the definition I gave you all, right? So all of you also take 5 minutes. We are not going to rush. Please do not rush this exercise. Now I'm going to again show the vision, okay? And now you will be coming up with values that you would want your students to operate with. Remember to achieve that vision. Okay, let's come up with maximum of 3 values. It's okay if you come up with only 2 itself. So I'm going to again share my
Basic,
screen.
1 of 3, tab control.
Sorry.
Your screen sharing is paused. Your screen share is loading. Participants can now see your application. You are screen sharing.
I think this AI is in your computer, Ishita, because it is telling us what you are doing.
It's not computer, it's something Zoom related. So Zoom में setting change हुआ होगा. It's a company Zoom.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. So here's our vision and the goal. Now please do this thinking exercise. Give me the value name, your definition, and why. 3 things. And we are not speaking, we are going to write down because writing helps us to process.
Can it be more than one?
100%. Maximum 3, I said.
Yeah.
100%. One value won't help you reach this big vision also. Is it okay if I quickly get my mug of water? I forgot it. I'm just coming back.
Actually, we have to write the values for the second part, right?
The value and the reasons.
Value and the reasons for the second part, writing part.
No. How you achieve the goal for the lesson vision.
Yeah, okay.
I think the values should be coordinating, relating to our vision.
Yeah. Well, it's for all the goals, right?
Yeah.
So for the whole lesson vision it is.
Yeah, reading, writing, and
But to achieve a separate goal, it's for the whole lesson.
values you want to instill. Choosing the values. I don't know. I don't know whether it is because it's a very wide. Uh, yeah,
Uh,
Ishita.
I,
Uh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, I'll be paid for
No,
longer.
no,
I'll actually need 2 more minutes. I'm so sorry.
No
no
problem.
problem. No problem. Take it. Courage to voice out. I've given another three. I don't know which one to stick to. They all seem important.
Hi, so sorry it took longer. I'm reading chat responses. Very good. See, now there's such huge difference amongst what you had written earlier and what you're all writing now. Very nice. Great. Okay. Shehzadi, you are still writing?
You won't believe one page. It disconnected and I joined again and everything vanished.
Oh, okay, okay. No
I'm
worries.
so
It's okay, it's okay. So far as far as you're meeting the objective of being able to come up with values and reason them out, that's okay, don't worry. Okay,
actually
great. So let's have a look at what I had also listed out. If you're still writing more, that's okay. We can
I'm
continue to
writing it
this.
again. Now I am just going to write down the the headings only.
Sure, yeah.
Ramesh Prabhu to everyone. Critical thinking encouraged students to analyze and evaluate.
Thank you, Pramesh. Yes. So these were also very similar. I had these three listed out. Curiosity, I had also already shared what that is for me and why. Next was creativity. I want them to
Shehzadi Sahota
imagine.
to everyone. Accountability, perseverance, accepting diversity.
We don't need to, volunteer anything automatically.
I was trying that earlier also. Not sure how to stop this, to be honest. Anyways, Charu, let's begin. Let's not write on the chat for the time being, and we can write down later. Sorry about that. Yeah, so creativity and lastly, resilience, right? So cultivating a mindset of persistence and perseverance because let's let's be honest, reading independently, creating that habit, it's not easy to do. We would want to not read sometimes. There would be times when okay, I don't want to ask or critique anything particular. So and it's challenging, right? So I just wanted them to have that resilience so that they do not give up. If they are not able to think of an alternative ending at one time, then they need to come back to it. It's not like they would have answers immediately. So just continuously doing that, and I can see how actually component of each is coming in your values also, maybe in different words or different formats, but yes, they are coming alive. So again, the next step, hence, after vision and goals, is coming up with your values, being able to define these values, and then being able to say that, okay, this is the value, this is my definition, this is how it will lead to the vision. So basically, I can also use another phrase for it. I can put down values like if my students operate with curiosity, creativity, and resilience, they will be able to achieve the vision. Right? So it's like if and then statement. That's the logic we are using. That if my students have A, B, C, they will achieve D. Right? Okay. Can I move forward now? Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yes. So next part is norms. Yeah, coming up with some norms or classroom rules. I think where's the slide for that? Okay, I again we have to anyway think on ourselves first. So now what are the norms that I would want them to operate with? Yeah, that's my next question to you. So say if I want them to be curious, then what can be a norm that I can have? If I want them to operate with creativity, what could another norm? And hence forward, right? So it doesn't have to be one norm for each value, but we have to think of in general maybe 3 norms or 4 norms that that will become like give them a way about how to operate. So like how goals told you how the vision will be achieved, your norms will tell you that the values are being operated with. Values are coming into action. So your norms have to be action statement. Okay. So yes, tell me what norms will you come up with? Again, do you want a very clear example first? Then you want to proceed? Very clear example. Okay. So let's take these values only: curiosity, creativity, and what was the third one? Sorry, resilience. Yeah. And then the norm I am putting up there is that when my forget this, I'll make it shorter. Sorry. So yes, the norm is students will ask 3 questions about things they don't know every day. Okay, so if they have to ask, and it could be any 3 questions, it doesn't have to be related to the reading of a story. 3 questions about things around them every day. Okay, in general, the norm becomes asking question, but to make it more specific, I can add that. So even asking questions is fine. So that becomes one norm. Okay. Is that
Okay,
example fine? Yes, Lopa? You have a doubt?
writing a diary. No, I'm just saying the second norm. Writing a diary entry before going to sleep. That's creativity, right? Doing something, writing about.
That's a routine. Yes, of course, but that's more of a routine. So what's the norm? To write, what do they need to first think? What will they think?
You mean the classroom norm, right?
Class. But that's okay. That's a good routine to have, and that routine can also be for a home activity. That's fine. But before that, what is that one norm they need to operate with?
Thinking.
What
They can go with like to write 3 good things and 3 sad things that happen in a day. Like if
Okay,
we
so what
want
are they doing? What is the
Thinking.
thinking about what?
their day, that's what
Yes,
happened
thinking about there, and there's a
in the
word
day,
for that
the
that's
whole
starts
day.
with R. You see dash in,
Recollecting.
you see your dash in mirror. I've given such a big hint. You see your
Look.
in mirror.
Reflection.
Reflection. Yes.
Reflect on your day.
Yes.
You
Yes.
reflect.
That becomes your second norm of reflection. And what you are mentioning, Lopa, is writing a journal every day. Well, that will become a routine, which will come in the investment of part 2. Right?
Yes. Yes.
So one we have discussed asking questions, then second becomes
Reflect.
Right? So
Reflecting.
reflecting will then cover bigger things also, right? Like every time they are doing something, they reflect on, okay, why am I doing this? How does it make me like a person?
What else can I do?
About
What
it?
other things can I do?
Yeah. Yes, so reflecting their actions. Very good. What else?
Predicting will also be right. When you are thinking of when you want to write a different, for example, that's
You're
like
limiting yourself.
No, but they are just observing, right? I mean, they are just observing. They are reflecting. How they can predict at that point? I
No,
think
no.
prediction is
Talking
something
about
else.
prediction as a different norm, but Lopa, you
Hmm.
are at least restricting yourself with the goal. Don't just restrict yourself. In general, what would you want them to do? So reflection again will help them become better thinkers. And that's a norm that we can do. And there would be routines that you're established so that that norm is being followed.
asking questions. Okay, man.
So reflecting.
Mm.
Sharing each other's ideas.
Okay, sharing is one thing. Yes, speak out your ideas, share your ideas. Very good. Very simple thing, right? But that's a norm. So everyone knows that if you are in a class, you need to share out loud. Very good. It has to be simple things only. Don't think of bigger things. It doesn't need to be big things. Come on, give me one more. Shehzadi, Pramesh. I have not heard more from you in this part. So yes. You are on mute, Pramesh.
So after doing all these things, towards the end, you come to a better conclusion.
I think you have to model resilience or something like that.
Value resilience, yeah.
We have to have the mindset kind of, just to have the mindset of the students to enhance the mindset. So because this is, all these activities, they are definitely, there may be some challenges faced by the students while doing these activities. So for that, we need to actually, from our examples, we can actually set some mindset in them so
What
that they will,
norm that-
Inspiring.
yeah.
What would be that norm that will help you do? A rule or a norm? Asking questions is one, sharing in a group is second, right? Third,
Reflection.
reflection, that, yes.
Mhm.
Application.
Sorry, one by one, please. Ruth, what did you say?
Application.
What application?
Like when we reflect, we ask questions, we share, and then
You
we teach the
apply.
students to apply it.
Okay.
Will that be a norm?
Not specifically. So norms are how would we operate? So what are the norms of this group, by the way? Can someone tell me what are the norms for our group?
Taking turns.
Very good.
And,
Yes. And did I ever establish that?
yes, you did.
Did I explicitly say that? Okay.
No, you did not, but
Yeah.
indirectly, we understood that.
Correct. Very good. Very good. So what do you think is the bigger norm when you are taking terms for adults? For children, yes, I will have to write down a norm of taking turns. Speak on your own turn. That's a good norm for younger kids. But for bigger adults, I can't say that, okay, Ruth, speak on your turn. What would I say when, say, Pramesh is saying something and Ruth has a point? What would I say?
One by one.
Yeah, so please hold on, or let's do it one after the other.
Yes.
One by one.
Why one after the other?
When you're speaking at a time, it's not.
What are you showing to Pramesh at that time? When
Interrupt, not to
Yeah,
interrupt.
disrespecting.
what are you showing? You're not showing disrespect. Respect
Respect.
norm then, right?
Respecting team members.
Respect would be a norm. Yeah.
Yes.
Based on
Respect
learning.
for each other.
Correct.
I I am wondering that how you take us to that particular word. You broke this whole scenario, the example, then you then break this. What are you showing towards others, right? And then we got the word respect.
Feelings.
Yes.
Put yourself like that's empathy.
Yeah, there's
Will come under empathy.
Yeah. What else does our group has? Think about it. Yeah.
Teamwork.
Teamwork, yes. And where do we see that happening? I
Caring.
would say that yes, you have to show teamwork, but where
When we are doing something
Breakout
together,
rooms
right?
and
Breakout room.
breakout rooms.
Breakout room.
breakout rooms happen, then there is peer
Feedbacks, taking
feedback.
feedbacks.
Yes.
Caring.
Feedbacks.
Very good. Those are systems of how I'm reinforcing the norms, right? And that is in investment part 2. But before that, I have to sit myself, and I'm not saying this explicitly to you all, but I'm still thinking, okay, this is my group of teachers, and I want them to be here. And one of the vision, by the way, one of the value that I have already thought of for TESOL program is learning from each other, right? I want openness and learning. So that's the value, and hence the norm I had a teamwork, right? And the system I have is feedback systems, breakout room activities, working on a lesson, co-creating a lesson. I use these words, right? So this is how I'm reinforcing the norm, but the norm is teamwork. And the value is learning from each other, right? Now, again, let's think of more norms that will help you start thinking in that direction. So we have spoken about respect for each other, learning from teamwork. What else? Some of you were saying certain words in values when I said these are too specific. Lopa, what did you write? Go back to your chat.
Okay, I have written time management.
Yes,
That also we do.
that is a norm, right? Owning your
Hmm.
time, managing
Yeah.
your own time. I tell you this, right? Like, hey, you will be there in breakout rooms
For 7 minutes. Yeah,
to manage
I
your
understand.
time on your own,
We do
right?
critical thinking also. That's also a norm, right? Critical thinking, being an adult.
Yeah, so reflection would cover that, no? Yeah, so time management could be one norm.
Active participation may be
Active participation is a norm. Yeah. Yes. So very good. I think you've got many ideas now.
Vocalizing thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With this
communicate, sharing.
yeah.
Mhm.
Now pause. Now pause. Now go
Mhm.
back to your values. And now think of 2 to 3 norms. Okay. And let's think of right now middle-aged students. So you don't need to think of very specific point like take turns while speaking. Even words like respect would also work. And go to the chat box and write down the norms. Let's do this for another 2 minutes. 2 to 3 norms, okay? Look at your values, not the values that I had shown.
There.
And please ignore if the computer will start saying certain things.
Time management.
Respect will come in empathy, right?
Respect can come, yes, it can come in empathy. But it's good to have like not even very broad. Empathy is more of a value to operate with. Listening to others can listen, giving time to others to speak is a norm, which will show this empathy.
Avoiding interruption.
Yes, that's
So
a norm.
that is for that age group, that they can understand, not to interrupt.
Correct.
So
Yes.
just listening
So,
intently or
so I'll just quickly give an idea.
focus.
Think of
Yeah.
verbs, think of action words while
Action
thinking of
words.
norms. Values
Mhm.
doesn't have to be action words. Empathy is not an action word, right? But
Mm.
showing respect is an action. Not interrupting is an action. Taking turns is an action. So think of actions in norms.
No.
Okay.
Please.
Okay. Shehzadi, I think you are left. Okay, yes. So I think everyone's going in the right direction. Just again, maybe like making it a little specific can help. So Lopa, I like yours, for example, teamwork. Very clearly, it's like showing teamwork, and you can also define that further. Like maybe
Following direction also could be very important, right? A norm in class, follow directions.
is that aligned to your vision? You want them to be thinkers and independent, and then you're
I
We are
think,
working on
following
the
direction.
independent
but direction
learning
as in, the class directions, right? Whatever the teacher is saying, you have to follow the
But that
directions.
would come in listening carefully, for example.
Okay.
Respect to the speaker, right? Show respect to speaker. So don't interrupt. But follow directions is completely going off track.
Okay, okay.
Well, back to the vision, right? So yes, so I think Shehzadi, I liked yours also, time management, thinking and writing about daily stuff. I think that would just come if you just write down reflecting your actions,
reflection. Yeah.
that would
Especially
suffice.
we need to use the action term. That is why I wrote reflection first.
Reflection is an action. Reflection
Okay.
is an action. So yeah, you reflect, you do something, you think that time. So listening carefully is a good action. Yes, sharing,
Like active listening, no?
active listening can be an action. Yeah, active participation. Yeah, yeah. So Pramesh, what you wrote, promoting reflection and self-assessment, emphasizing growth mindset. So these are again very heavy words, and last part, growth mindset, resilience are values in itself. So maybe thinking about simpler actions. So reflection is could be one. Second, for growth mindset or resilience, you can say that okay, not giving up. Sorry, not that. Trying when it is hard and asking for help. Right. So that's these are actions to do. Yeah. So yes, you are on the track. Almost all of you. So simple ways. Value is the bigger thing. Norm is how do you show that value. So that action. Okay. Great. Okay. And it would be age appropriate. So I can also, if my students are extremely physically active, so for younger students, I can have a class rule. Keep your hands and legs to yourself. And that's the way they show respect. Okay. So, but in early grades, this is an important rule to have. Yeah. So this kind of class rule can also be there, but depending on the age. Okay. Great. And this was your, when you come to the norms, that's your completion of your investment part one, which was mainly creating a culture plan. So let's quickly revise. What does the three components of culture plan is? We start with what? Shehzadi, I'll call out names.
Vision, class vision,
Class vision. Okay. From the class vision, what do we get, Ruth?
Goals.
Very good.
goals.
Goals, right? Specific, measurable, time bound. Okay. Pramesh, what happens next after the class vision and goals?
the class values.
Class values, very good. All right. Then after the values,
Class norms,
class
which
norms.
make it into class culture.
Norms.
All of these combined defines your class culture. But now let's say I defined a class culture, okay? And I put up a poster in my class with these fancy class vision, norms, values, good posters, right? Everywhere it's put. Will my vision be achieved?
No.
No.
To implement
No
it.
one will gonna
Implementation
read
of
it.
that. Implementation.
Implemented. Very good. And that's your
Okay,
second
implement.
part of investment plan. That now we work on implementing it. So what all comes in implementation? Again, there are three major things. One is your procedures, routines, or systems. These are three different words used for the same thing. You might find somewhere it's written classroom system, classroom procedure, classroom routines. So some like
SOP
Lopa,
also.
yes, SOP also. So Lopa, you mentioned they need to write a journal every day. Where do they write? Let's not go there, home, school, anywhere, but they need to write a journal. That's a routine, that's a procedure, right? Whenever they come, they start writing journal that, okay, how are they feeling today? Whenever they are leaving the class, they start writing journal, okay, what did they learn today, right? And that's how they are practicing reflection. And that's how they are also practicing deep thinking, right? Again, everything is connected back to the vision. Second procedure could be that, okay, so
Reading every day, reading, because that is also first goal, right?
very good.
Everyday reading.
Maybe just 10 minutes of reading time, right? 10 minutes of writing down wonder questions that they have. What if this would have happened? Writing, right? Or maybe not every day, but maybe twice a week. They all come together, they have read a book, maybe with teacher guidance right now to start with, and they come up with wonder questions. That's a routine, right? And of course, your lessons that you will do to like proper lessons that you have all worked on, reading comprehension, writing, that would of course contribute to building vision. So that's academic part, right? That's the second part. So one, your class routines, procedure system. Second, your academic lessons. And third is your management cycle, like behavior management of students, right? So now we are going to discuss these three things. Sorry, these two things. Academics, we are not going to discuss. We have done lesson planning. Yeah. But we are going to discuss two things: procedures, systems, routines. Any word that you would like to say? And then we are going to quickly discuss what are certain, what is it? What was the next part?
Class management,
Yes.
behavior management.
Behavior management techniques that we can use. Yeah. All right. So first, let's talk about procedures. Do you want me to use whiteboard so that all of you can collaborate actually?
Yes.
Yeah,
Good
because I
idea.
think slides may you are not, we will not be able to edit. All right. Can everyone come on the this thing? Yes, Lopa, Shehzadi are there, Ramesh and okay. So now we are saying we have already done class vision, goals, values, norms. Let's come to the next part, which is class routines or systems. And then we are doing behavior management. Let's first discuss the class routines. Okay, again, let's co-create these, okay? Let's remember our vision and let's go with the values that I gave so that all of us are thinking on the same lines, which were curiosity.
Reflection.
No, values. Curiosity, creativity, and
Creativity and
Reflection.
Resilience.
no,
Resilience.
resilience. Yeah.
yes, okay. And then the norms were what I had shared, which you were talking about, right? So now we need to establish class routine. So what would be class routines?
Writing a journal.
Okay. Let's keep writing. And try
Reading for 10 minutes every day.
writing journal, reading for 10. So
Writing journal could not be every day. Once a week, maybe every day, children, but reading can be every day.
Okay.
Journals can be once a week and they will have a show and tell, right? Where they are
Once
showing
or
and they
twice
can
a week.
question each other. They can question each other's journal.
Yes.
They can ask questions, think of alternatives.
Hmm. So I'm not writing frequency because everyone will have their own way.
Okay.
Yes.
So if I were you, why I'm saying this, because I think differently. If I were you, Lopa, then I would start with writing journal because I feel like, and every day, because I feel like just one question every day, they will start thinking. Reading, I would do maybe twice in a week or thrice in a week. So I'll increase the frequency, I'll change the frequency. But yes, what is the routine? Reading, journal. That's a routine, right? So frequency, I'm not writing because everyone can have different frequency. But let's quickly write down what else.
Writing, reading,
When asking questions?
So that's your norm, but so now you have to think of where will they ask questions, right, Shehzadi? Our norm was teamwork. So what would I do? What was my routine in sessions, assignments, and task?
creating wonder questions.
Yeah, that's more specific, right? So maybe when they have finished reading a story, creating wonder questions. So this is different from asking questions, says Adi. Why? Because we are just helping it become more specific. Ask
Specific.
questions is in general.
Yes.
We want them to.
Got it.
Yeah.
What about critics?
Okay. What like say it more?
That is again
Critics.
not general,
Critics,
not
like
specific.
something that they didn't like in that particular reading.
Okay. Do you think that can be a question in journal? Because journal mein they are actually doing
What if questions come in that, right?
But Ishita, can we have holding debates where they are reasoning and thinking beyond, right? Debates, holding debates.
Critical thinking.
Yeah. So debates, and maybe this can happen every week. This doesn't have to be
Yeah,
daily.
yeah.
It's a structure, class structure that you're using. Okay.
Okay. Like a day-to-day basis, right? This is a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Team tasks.
Yes. Yeah.
Team tasks. And every day there could be a team task.
Can I write it as team time? And it could be a very simple task also, but maybe they do that, right? Team time. By the way, it doesn't have to be a lot also. We are thinking about 3 months time, a quarter. And the idea would be consistency. And if you have written journal, then it's happening, really happening. It's not just in writing. The creativity, curiosity, and resilience.
Everything is met.
Sorry?
Everything is met, right? The curiosity part, the resilience part, and the imaginative part, right? All is
Then-
met in these actions.
Yeah.
Fe-
So you don't need any-
Feedback would be there. Feedback.
Yeah, feedback. Maybe you do feedback sessions and there's a feedback system. So maybe you have a feedback box in your class and students can put feedback in there for each other, for their teacher. That will promote thinking.
Every student speaking for 5 minutes in class. Everyone, daily presenting. Everyone will get a time to speak.
Okay.
Sharing.
That's not aligned to the topic. I know that's not aligned to the objective, but the more you speak, the more you think, right?
So I'll just write it. It doesn't have to be all. Not everyone has to implement every system. But I'm just writing it because, it's an idea. And maybe not every student presents daily. Maybe one student gets 5 minutes of presentation time every day. And the students keeps on changing on rotation. Anything else? It's okay. These are also a lot of things, by the way, if there's nothing else.
Hmm.
What are the things we can actually add here to, for students to be more creative, thinking more creatively? What are the activities we can add here?
So you will have to design your lessons there, Pramesh, right? So academics is the major part contributing. But these are, say, every day or every week routine things that we all know we have to do it. Now, all of you know that when you come to a TESOL session, there is a feedback. At least in 13 sessions, there has been feedback in at least 9 classes. Feedback part, right? Assignment
There is breakout teamwork, breakout sessions.
breakout session. So that became a ritual for us. So these are the rituals of the class in a way. It's not like only this will promote creativity. You will be doing a lesson plan, a writing lesson plan on how to rewrite a story, right? That's why. But these are
Sorry.
Yeah, I used to have this, for students for vocabulary and all. I used to have the word Antakshari and all. I used to have for some time. That
that's
also.
a ritual. That's a system of a class. Yes, definitely.
Interactive, engaging the student.
Learning 5 words daily.
Yeah.
Vocabulary building.
You can.
Actually, we think of a lot, but
You can
Ishita,
add
this
this
is enough.
activity. You can add this activity every day. At least 2 or 3 words every student will say, and the meaning of that and sample sentences using those
Making
words.
sentences.
Yeah.
So all of that are classroom procedures. Only thing I want you to think about is it leading to your vision. That's it. That's why I've not written that here. If it is leading to vision, sure, that's your classroom procedure or a system, sorry. So we have to go back to our vision, go back to your values, right?
Reading and then summarizing what you read.
Okay. So that can come in presentation time. Maybe they're presenting.
Sharing time, presenting time. Yeah.
That it's okay if there are no other ideas. We can close
Yeah.
with these.
Yeah. The next.
Yeah.
Okay. Just
All this is daily routine, right? This is the implementation part of the norms, classroom culture, implementing the classroom culture.
correct. And just a second, I needed to check something. There's another thing that you can also do, which I had written down, and that was having a goal tracker. And every day, so if there's a reading time, every day students come and fill their reading log. That was just one additional I had written because I want to cultivate the habit of independent reading. So every day, even if they've read one page thing, that's okay. But just they have to write down because when it's there visually in front of them, then reiteration, right? Yes, they are writing and they are reading and they're moving closer towards their goal. Yeah.
So can they be asked to actually explain whatever the content or summarize whatever they read yesterday? For example, they may have read 1 or 2 pages. Also, can you just
That
summarize?
is wonder questions. That
As
is.
you can see, names can be different. They can also write it in their journal, right? Like one thing that you read yesterday. What did you like about it? Your journal questions can keep on changing, right? Think about what are you building? You're building thinking. For that, your question may change, but your format is journal writing. So your classroom routines or systems or procedures are your are there, as the name suggests, they're systems. Journal writing is a system. What kind of questions now you want to include is up to you. Where they can write about book, they can write about their day, they can write about their feeling, they can write about one question they had today while watching someone or something in action. Right? That the content can change. Format is journal writing. Yeah? Is that okay? All right. So that is what classroom procedures are. I want to show something actually, just a moment. Oh no, this one was different for values. Okay. I thought I had, okay, fine.
So
Yeah,
this class will be like the session resource will be uploaded. It was not. It will be uploaded by today, right?
don't worry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, now let's move to the next part. Is this part clear? Is there any confusion?
No.
Ramesh,
No,
thinking something?
no.
No?
I said, you asked me, so I said, yes. I mean, I understood it.
Okay. Oh,
Hi, Ola.
where did the whiteboard go? The previous whiteboard. It doesn't get saved?
Must be in the history. Yes, it gets saved. You can see all your activities there. That must be in the history.
Uh-huh. No updates. Anyways, okay. Now let's move to the last part. Even I don't like this whiteboard much.
Yeah.
Which is, so next part, please note, is academics. I'm not discussing that. Now is the behavior management. What do you mean by behavior management when while listening to the terms? Pramesh can't hear you.
Discipline of the class.
Discipline of the class. Okay. What else?
Can you repeat the question, ma'am? Some people came.
The way we talk, the way we speak in the class, the way we interact, behave, right?
That's your norms, right? The way you interact, the way you behave. But behavior management is what happens if certain students are not ready to behave, right? In on a lighter note, but no,
If
not just that. But how do you reinforce the systems that you have established, the norms that you have established, right? So it's a behavior management. And there is a behavior management cycle that I will be now introducing to you. Okay, so first thing that we need to do whenever we are giving certain tasks or establishing certain norms or anything in the class is setting explicit and clear expectations. Right? So this becomes the first step. We cannot expect students to follow the norms and everything until and unless we have clearly, explicitly laid it out there, right? Maybe adults do it because yes, they understand overall social norms, but not everyone, not younger children cannot. So we need to give them clear instructions, right? It could be for a routine, it could be for a norm, it could be for any class, any task, right? So that's the first step. Second step is narration. So when everyone, I give you a task of writing in the chat box, what do you see me doing?
set out the rules,
Set
you
out
give
the-
instructions.
I
You
give-
give clear instructions.
Okay. And then,
Facilitating also.
sorry, Ruth.
You're facilitating um the conversation, like you're allowing us to do brainstorming and then you're writing.
Okay. And do you also hear me saying, okay, thank you, Pramesh, thank you for writing. I've seen yours. Do you see-
Gratitude and kind of
Yes.
not gratitude.
It's not gratitude.
Encouraging.
It's simple
um,
narration.
Pardon?
Narration.
Simple?
What is narration? What does narration?
Okay.
Narration means to talk.
No, it doesn't mean to talk. What is
Narrating.
narration?
Okay.
Yes.
How is
Appreciating.
How is this
Appreciating others'
narration?
work, right?
I'm
Appreciate,
asking you.
acknowledging.
No, you're not listening to the question, everyone. Wait. Story narration. What is narration?
You're retelling, you're narrating, you're
Telling
retelling.
Retelling, okay. Or simply saying what's happening. Factual evidences, right? It's the factual evidence of what is happening around me. So if I narrate incidents around me, I'll be saying, okay,
relating, detailing.
detailing, okay, maybe. Okay, go on, Ruth. You were saying
I
something.
didn't get this, Ishita. Narration. How will it come under behavior management?
I'm sharing. Wait. That point I'll come to first. Let's align on the meaning of narration, right? So narration is basically just sharing what is happening, right? So I say, okay, Lopa, I can see you have written down your chat response. I'm waiting for Shehzadi. Ruth, you have also written it down. Lopa knows that she has written it down, right? Shruth also knows, and Shehzadi knows that she has not written it down, but still I'm pointing it out. I'm calling it out. But am I attaching any positive or negative thing with it? That great job, Lopa, you have written it down.
Yeah,
PC.
you do that. You acknowledge others' work.
Acknowledge.
No, don't say
You're
that
commenting.
you actually did that. Yes, you did that. It was very good. It was very bad. I don't see anywhere that, I mean, you keep it neutral that yes,
Very
I
good.
like it. It was good.
Encouraging.
Then
It's
like
Yeah.
more
done.
like a feedback, right?
So feedback has to be positive, negative, right? I can't be sitting here
Yeah.
and not give positive, negative.
Yeah, but how
No,
is it
moreover,
narration?
tell you,
I mean,
uh if it is narration, I believe that your comments over the chat box, I mean, the chat responses, were neutral, right? I mean, they were encouraging, but you never demotivate or discourage anyone.
yes.
There was no right and wrong, and you explicitly said it many times that there is no right and wrong. So openly, you can go ahead and write your responses, right?
Yes. Okay, Shehzadi, thank you. I think you have understood. Let me help Lopa and Ruth to also understand. So whenever
Yeah.
I set clear expectations, I'm asking students to do a task, right? Now, when I'm asking students to do a task, while they are doing a task, one of the action a teacher can do is narration, narrating behavior, not narrating or commenting whether you are doing good or bad, but just narrating behavior. I'm going to quickly model out something in the next 2 minutes, okay? All right, everyone, I want you to take out your notebook and pen. Can I see everyone's notebook and pen in their hands? Come on, I'm waiting. Okay, yes, Ruth has taken out her notebook and the pen is in her hands. Okay, Lopa, I'm waiting for you. Shehzadi, your video is off, so I can't see you. I'll
You're
pause.
narrating. Okay.
So I was narrating their actions. Did I say, Ruth, you did a great job?
Yeah.
Did I say, Lopa, you're very bad. You have not until now.
You're saying what is happening in the class. Whatever is happening, you are saying.
Yes.
Okay. You're not
Yes.
deeming anything as good or bad. You're
So
just
it's more or
saying
less
whatever is
pointing
happening.
and you are pointing out and you are detailing things along with calling out. Yeah.
Whatever is happening, you're just calling it out.
Mm-mm.
And how do you think it helps?
Students' concentration, if things, when a teacher does that in class, it helps the students to be aligned in the class, right? Everyone is aligned. Everyone is more aware of the situation. Everyone gets a clear picture of what is happening around them. So they are more clear about the classroom as a whole. If someone is telling them this is happening, that
Moreover,
is happening, they have
I
to be able
believe
to
that this will help them to keep focused.
yeah,
That
focus. That's
okay, we are in the class, teacher is actually calling out, we need to do something, we need to like what listen to the teacher, right? So more or less it I think that it keeps them within the class only and less distraction will be there.
Okay. Well, thank you, Shehzadi. So I think Shehzadi, Lopa, I want you to be quiet for a few minutes. I think Ruth and Pramesh needs to understand this part. Yeah. So I want them to be on task. So while I would narrate, so Pramesh, while you were gone, I think there was some internet problem. We did quick modeling, where I gave a task to everyone to take out their notebooks and hold it in their hands and show it to me. And when I said that clear instruction, after that, I did quick behavior narration, which was like, okay, thank you, Ruth. I can see you have taken out the notebook. Lopa, I'm still waiting for you. Shehzadi, I cannot see you. I'm still waiting for you. Okay, Pramesh, I can see you have also taken out your notebook. I'm not attaching any good thing. I'm not attaching it with any bad thing. There is no positive, negative thing. It's neutral behavior narration. That means what is happening around me. And the reason we do this is we want students to do certain activities and tasks, right? And for that, we want them to be on task. So to be on task, rather than initially only saying that, Ruth, very good, you have followed instruction. And then I'm saying, Lopa, why didn't you not follow instruction? Before reaching that step, I'm giving them a chance to at least do the task, right? So I'm
on task.
just narrating. So it's a filler time. That's a reminder for Lopa. Lopa, you have not taken out notebook, but in a very simple and neutral way. That Lopa will not feel targeted. She'll also take out the notebook, and whenever she does, I'll quickly say, "Thank you, Lopa. Yes, now I can see notebook in your hand."
So not targeting anyone in the class, being general and aligning children to on the task. Okay.
Please note that this is don't think about how will you take this back in your Planet Spark classroom immediately. It's difficult because you have one-on-one classroom here. You give an instruction, student follow it or not follow it, very different story. This is more from a group classrooms wherein you are teaching and students are not being on task or they are not following a norm, right? So for example, you would have also seen initially when we were doing the session, some of you would raise your hand, right? And I'll say, okay, thank you. So yes, I can see Lopa, you're raising your hand. I would want more hands. Come on, everyone. I want you to raise hands and let's then take responses. That was a way of behavior narration. So that Lopa is acknowledged. Yes, she did follow an expected norm. But I'm waiting for others to now raise their hands.
Others need to buck up.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a simple way of making students be on task, more suitable in group classrooms, right? More suitable for, actually, it's suitable across all age groups. You would not know, but I have done behavior narration many times with all of you, right? But just a way of ensuring that, okay, everyone wants to be on task. It's always good to be like, hear your name and say, yes, I'm also ready, right? So that's a way of behavior narration. Now, why does it come in behavior management cycle? Ruth, that was your question. Can you now
Establishing the norm.
the connection?
Pardon?
Can we say this way, ma'am? Can we say this way, Ishita? In a class, I think the other day I had a session with the students, and initially a lot of students actually they were laughing at the back and talking a lot in between, and causing some disturbance. And so I actually said that all those talking people definitely they may be having a lot to share with us also. So whoever I find talking, I would want that student to come here and narrate the things whatever you're talking about, or I'll be giving them the activity of speaking on this.
No, that's a consequence. No, that's not at
But
all.
that's targeting also, right? You're targeting a certain group of
Completely
students.
And
depends on
moreover, it is not neutral actually.
Mhm.
We are
It's like
targeting some of the children
pinpointing
because
something,
they are disturbing the class.
right? You were not doing something wrong, Pramesh. We are not saying this, but that is not behavior narration. Behavior narration would have been, okay, I can see students in the front row are already, they've started working on the task. I'm still waiting for students in the back row. That's it. That would have been behavior narration. Right?
It happened in our class. I mean,
After that, listening to that, most of the students who are talking and laughing, they were paying more attention to it because they never wanted to come on the stage in front and
Yes,
actually.
but that is not behavior narration still.
Yeah.
The action you take, which will come next, and I'll share about that. But that is not behavior narration. Behavior narration is just calling out incidents without attaching any positive, negative things. Because we are giving students a chance to buck up, as Lopa mentioned, and be on the task to follow a norm that is expected out of them.
like you
Yes.
do every time. Like I can see these people have already responded. I am not seeing any, much speaking from these,
Yes.
and I'm waiting for these responses. So you do it every time
So,
in the
Ishita,
sessions itself.
this behavior management cycle can be understood as the guiding steps to establish norms in the class.
If
Am I
norm
right?
establishment has already happened, yeah, but how do you make students follow the norms now?
Establishing norms in the class.
Yeah. Yes. One question, please wait now, everyone. Ruth, is your
Yes.
clear about how narration is included in behavior management cycle?
Yeah, just commenting on the class situation and because usually narration comes with narrating things, but here I understand it's used in a different, slightly different context. Just as a facilitator, you're just calling out what's happening and in a very positive, encouraging way that no one is being targeted.
Actually, not even positive, not even encouraging, just
Right, neutral.
yeah.
You're also
Encouraging those who
narrating, right?
haven't done yet, asking them to do it in a very subtle manner without hurting their feelings, kind of thing, right?
Actually, I mean, the term narration was confusing itself because
Yeah,
narration, we
initially
all
even I
know for the story narration only, creator who
exactly.
creates the story, the narrator, and who is telling the story is narration, right?
Yes,
So
but
Yeah.
it's not
that's
behavior
confused
narration.
actually
It's a
everyone.
scientific term, actually. It's not, it's a proper.
Yes, behavior narration, yes,
But that
behavior
is
narration
similar.
can be
But that is similar to
understandable.
narration. Yeah. You're not narrating a story, but you're narrating your class, whatever is happening in the class.
Yes.
So narration is happening there also. We are narrating not a story, but whatever is happening in the class. Story also we narrate what we read, right? So what we are seeing in the class, we're just vocaling it out.
Yes, yes. Okay. Next point. I think we have all understood, so I'm going to move ahead. It's already one. So corrective action. Okay. Now there are, let's go back to the example of what I was modeling. Yeah, what was I doing? I was saying that we are going to, sorry, I'm giving you an instruction and I was narrating, and then I see one of the students not following the action, the expectation. Okay, let's see what I would do. All right, so okay, so is everyone ready with their notebook and pen? All right, I can see, let's say everyone is ready. Okay, now the next thing is I want all of you to start writing your journal. Okay, you have 5 minutes. Remember, we do this every day. Let's now start writing about our day. And I want you to answer 2 questions. One thing that you liked doing today, and one thing that you're unhappy about, maybe. Okay, these are the 2 questions. We have 2 minutes of time. Let's start writing. Okay, I can see Pramesh is already writing. Okay, Ruth has started writing too. Shiladi, I'm waiting for you to start writing, or if you're doing thinking, that's okay. All right, now I see Lopa talking to someone else, for example. So I will go closer to Lopa, only closer to Lopa, not in front of everyone. And I'll say, okay, Lopa, I can see that you have not started doing your task right now. And you're talking to your peer, which is also disrupting her. Can you please now start doing your task now? Thank you. And I'll walk away from there. That's one thing I do. Lopa still doesn't listen to me and she's continuing to talk.
Out of the classroom. That won't happen, right?
Stand up on the bench.
Ishita, like I don't see, I've never seen such a sweet teacher like you. Generally there
Yeah.
is no corrective action in school, right? Okay, you are standing out of the classroom. Out! They don't give a second chance, right? The teacher.
That's what
Those days don't
Understood.
happen. Those things don't happen nowadays because the teacher will be sued, to be taken to the court.
I don't know, my
Those
daughter's
things.
school, they give one time slap also.
Oh, wow. But I really like the word that you gave, right? Chances. Corrective actions are chances that we want to give the student to follow the norm or to do what is expected or to be on the
Yeah.
path. It's not directly just going and taking a consequence. So I gave a corrective action
I
to
mean,
sorry, Shehzadi, I'll just complete this one point. Yeah. So I go
yeah.
ahead, I give a corrective action. I give one chance to Lopa by telling her very simply that, hey, Lopa, I'm noticing this is happening and you have still not started doing it. Everyone has started. Please now get started with it. And you are also disrupting. Now, let's say Lopa is still doing that. Okay, so I'll go back maybe. So first time I walked away. And this time I'm going to again go back. Okay, Lopa, this is the second time I'm telling you now. I think I might ask you to move to another place. So there's a corner table. Please go to that table and continue with your task. That's my second corrective action. So I've changed place. She was talking to a peer, so I removed that blocker, right? Okay, go and sit in the corner. And suppose even then she is being a disruptive kid, then what do I do? So in that case, I can take some extreme measure, maybe not a slap kind of thing.
Out of the classroom.
Why?
Since you're so interested outside, maybe you can have a walk around the principal's office.
You're being so strict.
But that happens,
Then
right?
the-
In
That
school which I
happens.
was,
Then
Ishita,
then the principal will remove me from school instead
Ishita,
of the child.
Ishita, but you
I
know
can't
what?
do that.
This is what we have seen like in our schools. So,
Those
you know,
days, it
But
doesn't
that
happen
don't
anymore.
always, that doesn't mean that's
No,
always
it
right.
doesn't
No?
happen anymore.
no, you are being so strict. Now you are saying chances, right? But actually, it's a warning. First warning, second warning.
These are warnings. So yeah,
These are
so
warnings.
why do we give warnings? To give them a chance.
No,
Yeah.
chance is a sweeter word. Warning is a red signal, right? Red
It's
sign.
a mindset
Warning
orientation word, right?
is
When
word
I
earlier. Nowadays, actually, it's chances only.
yes, if I use the word warning, all of you will think in that direction that you have to give a major consequence to your child.
So you are giving a positive outlook.
Yes, you can say that, but I think it's positive, negative is connotations we have only attached. Right? But corrective action is where you need to have levels. You cannot just quickly take a big measure. You need to have levels. First, second, third. Right? So that's where corrective actions come. So Pramesh, going back to your example, first of all, thank you so much for sharing your what you did in the class very openly, and you were very open to our feedback also. But what you did was a corrective action and maybe a major one, right? So we have to do a corrective action that will not belittle everyone. What does that mean? We don't have to hurt anyone. We don't have to.
Respected.
Yes, the students also have respect. They were silent
Absolutely.
afterwards because they felt pinpointed,
Mm.
held out
So,
in front of entire
so
class.
what would have been the ideal thing
I
in
don't
this?
think now. I just gave one example where Lopa was being a disruptive kid.
Yeah.
What could you have done? Maybe first, second, third, fourth chance. Think.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to share. One child was like this, very arrogant. Actually, she's super smart, and she was very arrogant. Uh, I did the same thing because one thing what I've noticed is love is more stronger than punishment. Because 99.9% when you talk with the learner in such an amicable way, like supposing when Ishita said, you change places because of this disturbance, you put them in the corner. So that becomes, children become more rebellious there. They can get
Yes.
more arrogant there. So
Hmm.
when you go to talk to them, you go close and say, tell me exactly what's your problem. Are you going through something, or you want to talk to me? Or, when we talk on that level, they kind of melt. They must be having some of their own issues. And then you see, you deal with that in a separate way, and then they are all out there very happy and they are able to concentrate. So that's what you were saying, to go gradually,
Yes.
not all outright go to the disciplinary action, go gradually. And
Yeah. Yes, very good. Thank you so, Ruth, for sharing that. So, Pramesh, going back to your question, right? So, if I were you, and these are very difficult things, right? It's not easy. So, if I were you, I would go to the student's desk and say that, hey, I can see that you're laughing about something. Uh, I will give you some time to talk. I can see you want to talk, but right now we are all doing this task, right? And it is also disrupting everyone. So, I'm being very logical with them. I'm not asking them to not talk. That's not my concern. They are like, they will talk. They are children. They have to talk. I mean, everyone talks, right? We also used to talk. But I want to give them the logic, like, your task is pending and your friends are getting disturbed. Your peers are getting disturbed, right? So this is the task that I want you to do right now. And you can proceed to talking later on. And maybe we'll have some free time afterwards, right? So that's one thing I would have done. First, corrective action. Second corrective action, if they're still doing this, maybe I would have also asked them that, okay, I would want you to now, sit separately for this class. Two of you sit there, one here, something like this, right? May change their sitting arrangement, right? Still, if they are doing something continuously, it's going on and again, maybe I have a behavior tracker in my class, right? And over there, I give stars to students. So then over there, every day, everyone receives stars, and this is for very young child, by the way. For big children, this doesn't work. They don't need any stars or something. But for younger kids, I can be like, okay, hey, I'm so sorry, but today you will not be getting your star. You're not getting your kindness badge, or you're not getting your, any certain name that I've been using. So use a tracker, and then I'll point out that, okay, today you are not getting this, or I'm taking away your star because I did come to you and I did share about this multiple times, but you were not listening to me. This is not acceptable, or this is not expected. And if it's older children, then I'll give them maybe some other task, right? So, or maybe then I would say that, okay, hey, I will have to ask you to step out of the class. I don't think you're focusing right now. So why don't you go out of the class? And after the class, I want you to tell me what was happening, what was not helping you to focus in the class. Maybe this, right? But it would be gradual. Maybe the students would have, usually they respond in the first corrective action only, because they also see that this person is respecting me. They didn't call out my name in front of everyone. Came to me, spoke to me personally. Yeah. Pramesh, I don't know, does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. And it comes with practice, lot of practice. It's not like we can learn corrective action immediately. We are also, like how Lopa mentioned, we have seen that, right? Some typical corrective actions being taken, and chances were always warnings. See? So it will
I
take.
have a question actually here.
Yes, sure.
Should I share my instance twice within my practice sessions, right? So, I mean, within these classes, students were there, right? So, I mean, I just gave them the feedback, right? That you have to add some more points in the story, like was not aligned with the topic one, and you have to add some more points, right? I mean, they just spoke for 30 seconds or 40 seconds. I don't know that, I mean, that was the sessions for the juniors, right? They were from, I believe, first or second grade. I mean, I'm talking about the two different classes, right? And these are two different children I'm talking about.
I am not able to
Am
understand.
I audible? Hello?
Your voice was breaking multiple times.
Is it fine now, Ishita?
Better.
I mean, I'm just saying that I shared my the content that they have shared was not aligned with the topic one. It's okay if they shared whatever they have, they were sharing. They shared. Okay, that's fine. But I mean, I wanted them to add some more points, right? To think more, right? I gave this feedback, and they both started crying, and they left the classes. And this happened twice. What was my fault there? I don't understand that. And and one of my practice class, and that child never joined that session again. I don't know what I actually said, or what was that was I really rude? No, I wasn't. I never been rude to the children, never ever. I mean, I try to keep it like a neutral, and I mean, sharing feedback is something, sharing the feedback. So I don't
Yes,
know, this
and
when they
hold the
started
space.
crying, and then and her mother came. Then what happened? She started crying and blah blah. And then I shared the whole story. I said nothing can do good. So I just shared it that let's add some more points. Yeah, because I want her to speak more. And and then that girl never joined the session. So, I mean, here, while we are talking about the behavior corrective actions, right? So, some instances happen. So, what do you think that we as a teacher should do there? I mean, I just shared because I wanted them to practice something more. Yeah. So,
Sorry, Chirag, I'm actually losing context. I think so sorry, but it's difficult for me to follow you to that AI voice spoke in between. But I just want to pause you and repeat what you said to know if I'm listening in the same direction. You are saying there was a practice class and two students spoke on a completely different topics. You pointed that out, and the students cried and they left the practice class, and then the parents came. Is that what you're mentioning?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so here I don't think you don't need to do such analysis for yourself, right? Sometimes certain students have also different expectations from class. They could have been really different. So it could be multiple factors leading to that, right? It doesn't have to be that particular, the teacher-led what should I say, teacher-led tension. It doesn't have to be teacher-led tension.
Mm-hmm.
Is it making sense? Because it
Okay, I think there is some.
much.
I think there is some network disruptions. That is why some of my points
That's what, like, I don't think I'm able to
you
follow.
didn't understand, I
You
believe.
want to discuss it offline later on?
Yes, sure.
We'll do that, yeah. Okay. But for others, so there's another resource I'm going to show you. I was just pulling that out. This is what would be there on your handbook also.
Your screen sharing is paused. Your screen share is loading. Participants can now see your application. You are screen sharing.
We can see that. Okay. Sorry.
We really don't know this.
See, class narration, that is have narration happening, right?
Yes. Yes. So this is your cheat sheet that I will be sharing, right? Behavior management cycle. So first step is always giving explicit instruction. Second step is narrating student behavior. Third is corrective action, which is also correct off-task behavior, right? So these are the three major steps. The fourth one is just ongoing, like you build relationship with them to help make implement this cycle easily, right? But another thing that you can do for corrective action is you can also just repeat your expectations again for students that this is what I'm expecting you to do. I do not see you doing that, so I just want to call that out. Even this is one of the corrective action, right? So there could be different steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Yeah, we can also name it as consequences. Last May, you might hear certain words because I will be sharing some reading today. So there would be consequences also used sometimes in corrective actions. Okay. I'll just keep it on for a few minutes because if I stop sharing and again share, it will again start speaking. So please read it. The ones written in italics are examples. I mainly want you to look at those. Okay, is that it? Can I stop sharing?
Oh, so you wrote warning for the step 3 here.
I mean, there could be more warnings. It
Mhm.
is the first thing that the sheet represents.
Ramesh Prabhu has left the meeting.
Let the meeting.
Whatever the setting
We
is.
have two instructors to do it. One is facilitator and second is the instructor.
Yeah. But it's not, see, that is, by the way, what this person's voice is doing is behavior narration.
Yeah, I told. AI narration.
No
AI
positive.
narration. That is AI narration.
Yeah, AI-led behavior narration. So it's neither positive, neither negative, nor negative. It's neutral.
It's just telling that's what I started now when they were saying.
Yeah. Okay, can I stop sharing my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, your task for this week would be coming up with your culture plan. I will be sharing a template for you. Template is basically nothing but class vision, thinking about current reality, class vision, your class goals. Then comes your values. No, that's your culture plan. The next part would be you will have to create systems, procedures, and routines that will help you to reiterate the norms, the vision, and everything. And then the third part would be your behavior management cycle. So behavior management cycle, actually there's nothing you need to submit in behavior management cycle. It's already there, but maybe there I'll ask you to, put it down in your own words just to check that yes, you have learned it. Okay, that's what today's assignment would be. Now, how do you do this if you're only teaching Planet Spark students, right? So maybe you can think of any one particular student that you have been teaching, right? Maybe someone who has been a little tricky to teach, because then only you will be thinking about, okay, what values do I definitely need the student to have? Hence, what system should I do? Maybe in 1 hour online class, first 5 minutes, I'm only doing words of the day. Last 5 minutes, I'm only doing this. So it could be anything, but try to challenge yourself by picking a student who is a little tricky to handle. Okay. So it would become student visions, everything class would be replaced by student. But if you have a group class, then you can think of class also. Okay. Any questions, any doubts? I know this class was not well structured, maybe gaps on my end. Sorry about that. But yes, this is the topic that we had. And what will mainly help you is just practicing different things, like practicing working on vision statement, values, norms, and so on.
Shita, let's suppose I do not teach any other students other than Planet Spark in my own quarter. Okay, I'm not a teacher. So basically, let's suppose I think of like how will I, right? For example, my lesson vision would be about a particular child, right? Let's say
Student vision. It will not be lesson vision. Lesson vision is coming for just a particular lesson, say
it
of
will be a student vision, right? Like the what are the problems that student is like having, and what are my visions? Like
yes.
more of cooperation in the class, more of speaking time, less of tantrum times, less of screen time, and more of answering to the point question. So that could be my vision, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And what are the things I do? That's my goal would be first is, so if I segregate that vision, okay, more of speaking time, 10 minutes of speaking time, 10 minutes of reading time, and writing something. So in my class, I want these three goals to be established.
The
So I
goal
will
should
just
be a
do it
little
like
more ambitious, no? And it has to be over a period of time. Don't make a daily goal. That's a system itself. But your goal has to be, okay, the student will articulate or will give a showcase speech at the end of a month. That's a goal, right? And how will that happen? Only when he learns to speak properly, articulate properly, and so on, right? So don't make your goal shorter and simple. Goal has to be ambitious. Yeah. So yeah, you can think of any one student and it would be student goals, student visions, values for student, and so on. Shehzadi and Ruth.
It's clear.
Yes, Ishita.
Yeah, doubts,
Yeah.
questions, what's going on your mind?
No, nothing like that. Yeah, you asked me to think, so I know I can think of one particular student and write regarding issues centered around.
Got it.
So the assignment would be for us to, okay, you will put it on mail, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, cool. And Shehzadi, all the resources will be there. Shehzadi, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Any questions, any doubts?
Nothing as such. The only thing, just tell me from where I can get that classic whiteboard back.
Whiteboard.
Nothing,
Okay, we'll do that.
nothing from the lesson.
Actually,
Nothing from the lesson.
to
Yes,
be
yes.
honest, when I used to do it until now, it used to give me a different whiteboard. Like it would used to give me option of sharing classic whiteboard. Now today it's not giving me. So even I do not know, to be very honest.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's what. When you said, I thought, oh, that's easy because start this log nahi aa raha.
Because you did that, no? That
Maybe
is
they
why
have
I asked
removed
you.
it.
I don't know. I mean, I tried to, delete it, put it in the trash, but it appeared again. I don't know. I actually don't know.
Yeah, sorry, even
Hmm.
I'm trying to figure that, not so good with it. I learn on the go, to be honest. Okay, so
Me
let's
too.
close the session. I think that will go in another direction. So Lopa, Ruth, and Shehzadi, can you please go to the chat box and complete our ritual? You know the ritual?
Yes, the
Routine.
takeaway. Mhm.
Yes, the takeaways. And what would you try
Takeaway.
to implement next? Not able to figure this out, Shehzadi. Sorry, the whiteboard thing. Yeah. Got it. Okay. Please know that age appropriateness is extremely important while thinking about your classroom norms, the class values. So basically, the current reality is also what age appropriateness will take into account, right? So all of that is extremely important.
For example, in my class, I have many students, right? There are some who are very disturbing, right? Behavioral issues they have. So for them, the norms would be like putting a check in the behavior, learning how to respect when a teacher is talking. There are some students who, maybe the elder students, the boys, sometimes go off the limits. Sometimes they do that. So it depends on, right? This changes as per your students because every child is different. You have to
100%.
understand. That's how well you understand your children. That's a very good practice, understanding, like designing a class, keeping in mind the student. Right. I have to design, set a goal for each, like within 3 months, my child, I have this plan for this child. The classroom has to work accordingly, and the end result should be
Aligned, yeah. So you can for older kids, what has also worked, and maybe I'll try to share some samples around that, are your contracts or deals. I mean, I'm going to share one example, and I know this is not an older child, but my nephew is 4-year-old, and he didn't watch TV until he was 2 years old. There was no screens introduced, but now the screen has been introduced, and he's become fan of that. And every time he wants to just see Peppa, right? So I have I'd made deals with him. And earlier, what happened, like it became a habit that he would eat and watch TV, and then the eating time, the meal time would go on for 1 hour, 1.5 hour, and just so on because he's totally engrossed, right? So to change that, I started doing deals with him, and the deal is very simple. He get to watch, he have to finish the meal, and once he finishes the meal, he gets to watch 5 Peppa Pigs. This
be
is
or
for
do it with
lunch.
all children. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mother,
but
that's a
that
very
was
good
a
mother
deal, right?
strategy.
So now what happened? And it was very difficult. Actually, it's a very good example of behavior management only. It's not like he started following the deal. He's a 4-year-old child, actually 3.5, to be honest. He won't really adhere to 5 Peppas. If he's watching, he wants to see. So I had to do behavior narration. Okay, see, we made a deal and you said you're going to watch 5 Peppas. Now, to earn more Peppa time, you have to show me another task. You have to finish another meal, and at night, you'll have to do this. And that meal time has to be 30 minutes. You have to wrap up your meal quickly. One day, we bought like 7 Peppas, then he closed. Second day, again, did the same thing. Third day, again. And then he would cry when I'm closing, switching off the TV that, no, I want to watch, all that. And we did this for around 2 weeks now. And I can say yesterday's conversation at night, he was watching TV, 5 Peppas were done. I handed him the remote and I said, okay, how many Peppas are done? 5. What would you do now? And he switched off TV. Right? But that was just a way of continuous reiteration. So even older kids, it can work, but the deal has to be relevant. So think about what is it that your students really like, even if these are older kids. A way of getting them work done is going to be from what do they really like to do. And maybe you have a deal that okay, one learn class, if they have followed everything, right? If a child is too talkative, then we can do okay. If we are going to do some mini class today, 15 minutes chunks. And if you are able to follow everything on time, we are going to have 10 minutes of uninterrupted you time, where you can talk, you can do anything that you want, or you teach me something new. If it's an older kid who's disinterested and he loves playing computer games, right? So again, a deal. Okay, You are going to teach me computer game and you have to present a presentation on that. One class only, we are only going to talk about that and you are going to be my teacher. But for that, one class to earn, you have to first complete these few tasks. So deals and so these are contracts work very well with older kids or kids who are, like who don't like to be treated ki rule hai, follow karna hai. For these children, you can really come up with these social contracts ideas or deals ideas. But it has to be like every day. It can't be just one class you're being too lenient, one class too strict. It has to be uniform. So if TV has to be switched off after 5 papers, it has to be, no matter what happens. Right? So that is more important. Being firm is more important than being strict.
Ishita, I mean, may I leave? Actually, I need to pick my daughter from school.
Oh,
It's already 30 minutes late.
Sure, Shehzadi, why
So,
don't you reach out to me for your practice class doubt and I'll help you. And whiteboard, I'm sorry, I
sure,
was
sure.
trying to figure out when all of you were writing in the chat.
Once you once you figure out, do let me know as
Yeah,
well.
I will.
Sure.
Great. Okay. Thank you so
Okay,
much,
thank you,
everyone.
everyone. Thank you. See you in the next video.
Thank you, Shehzadi. So I will be sharing instructions for next week class, 14th class. You would remember I said it would be need-based class. So I would be sharing the instructions over an email. There would be a Google form that you need to fill. So take time to fill that form. Please do not fill it in rush because it would require you to go to your handbook, look at different topics where you are still struggling, where you are not struggling. And it will be a very peer learning type of space. I'm not going to be an instructor in the next class. Okay, we are going to learn from each other. We are going to help you address your needs. Yeah, that's what 14th session is about.
And what about the assignment, Ishita?
Assessment.
Assignment assessment, right?
Assessment,
Will it
yes.
be this
So,
week?
yeah, are you
Or
saying assignment for
no,
this
no,
week?
no, no. The final assignment,
So
25
that
questions
would be also uploaded on in the 14th week.
next week.
Handbook, yeah.
So that is the last week. 14th next class is
So
the
we
last
have one
week.
more, sorry, we have one more class, is it?
Yes, that's what I was saying, Ruth, that it would be, I will be rolling out a Google form that will require you to think about what are certain areas there you're feeling challenged, and accordingly the 14th session will be.
And after the last session, we will have the 25 question, the deciding criteria. And what about that award session that was? When will that happen?
Only once all of you submit the assessment, no? That's when the award ceremony will happen.
That is 15th week. So
Yeah,
we'll have one.
Ishita, sorry, yeah, complete. I will talk with you. Yes,
Okay.
Lopa, go ahead.